What's up, everyone? Shaquille Mahjoudi here for CBS Sports, and you know who this is. He might soon be a five-time world champion because not only is Gunther next, but he's last as this man makes his retirement walk at WWE Saturday night's main event. The Hall of Famer himself, Bill Goldberg. Thank you for doing this today, sir.
Anytime, my friend. Why not pack something else in on my schedule right before I retire? It's all
Yes,
good.
yeah. You know what?
I wouldn't miss
Go
the
big or go
opportunity.
home, right?
Yeah, 1,000,000,000%. So, yeah.
Uh, let's start here. I was reading about how you got the call for this event and how Triple H dials you up while you're out there, tending to your land, and you actually didn't pick up the first time because you didn't know who called. How bad have these spam callers gotten? You almost missed this huge phone call because you never know who's calling you anymore.
Yeah, you really don't. I had the conversation with my wife last week. I mean, half the phone calls we get are spam. And personally, at this point, I believe it's an invasion of privacy and it should be against the law. But that's a whole nother conversation, man. Yeah, it was pretty wild how it transpired. Obviously, it wasn't the best case scenario for me. I would have liked to have gone straight into a retirement match shortly thereafter, the last time I had stepped
Mhm.
in the ring, so that I would be mentally and physically more prepared. But this time, they actually gave me a little bit of time to prepare. So,
Mm.
as contradicting as that statement is, it turned out to be okay. Let's be honest, I've spoken before about it, and I'm not using it as an excuse by any stretch of the imagination, but I had COVID when I got the last phone call to wrestle Roman in Saudi Arabia. And, at certain points in your career, or if you're a certain individual, you never say no. And there's reasons why you do what you do. And the reality is that I have a job and I like to be there for my employers when they ask me to do something. If I'm physically able in any way, shape, or form, then that's my responsibility. So that's why I took the Roman deal, even though I had COVID and I hadn't trained for 3 months prior. Um, I had a responsibility, and they needed me, and I I helped them out. And I thought that part of the payback for that, obviously, hey, we're going to give him a retirement match. Well, that never transpired.
Mm.
Vince got fired and the company took on a whole different personality and infrastructure. And yeah, I mean, I'm out on my tractor mowing, our acreage, and I get a phone call from New York, and it's an unknown number well, it's an unknown number for me, and I didn't pick up. And then I picked up the second time, and lo and behold, it was Mr. Levesque. So I'm appreciative of the opportunity and also appreciative that they gave me more than 3 weeks to prepare for it.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to one of these days maybe getting a call from Mr. Levesque and not the 200 to 300 spam calls that I keep getting. But
Yeah.
maybe I haven't quite earned it yet, like you, Bill Goldberg.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I mean, I have put my time in.
yes, sir. What does it mean for you to have this moment in Atlanta? Because it's not just WCW's home base, but also the Georgia Bulldogs, also the Atlanta Falcons. Like, Atlanta is very synonymous and runs very deep in Goldberg's career.
Yeah, I mean, it's my second home. I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it was a wonderful place to grow up. And I went to the University of Georgia, and then I turned into an Atlanta peach, for a while. Spent a lot of time of my life, in that part of the country and around those wonderful people. And it Atlanta means a lot to me. I mean, it really does. I mean, quite obviously, the Georgia Bulldogs are an hour and a half away in Athens, and then playing for the Falcons. But training at the WCW power plant and having guys like Dwayne Bruce and all of the people who originally helped me out and helped me in the embryonic point of my career, I would not be who I am, nor would the character be who he is without those times and those special people who lended a hand and, you know, could have been adversaries, but they were friends. They were people that went out of their way to help me try to segue into a different profession and excel. And I it's hard for me to eloquate what it means to me to be able to do it in Atlanta.
Thoughts on having Gunther as your last opponent? Two-time world heavyweight champion and very highly regarded by the fan base as one of the best workers of his generation. Don't think Goldberg versus Gunther is something people would have predicted a few years ago, but what does it mean to share this moment with him?
I wouldn't have predicted it either, except for the fact that when I met him the first time, I knew he was going to be something special. I knew he wasn't flamboyant, wasn't over the top. He was old school, and I very much appreciate that. I appreciate his style. I appreciate his professionalism. Um, and I'm honored to share the ring with him. And it's always a passing of the torch when you have an old man like myself in there with a new young buck. And I mean, at the end of the day, you look at how it benefits the company. I don't try to answer all those questions. I'm just appreciative of the opportunity and to share the ring with him. Um, it's gonna be interesting, man. I mean, it truly is, and I'm fairly excited for it.
You're very kind to do this right now, jumping from appointment to appointment. There's a million things going on in the lead up to your final match. How does Bill Goldberg sort of find some center himself and find some calm in the madness of the storm during times like these?
It's not possible. It's not possible. I'm like a member of the military, and I'm adapting and overcoming. And the reality is that what doesn't kill you makes you fucking stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And pardon my French, but I mean, I'm locking in. I'll do my thing. There's no question about it. When push comes to shove, I have a job to do, and I will be there to do that job to the best of my ability at 58 years old with a bum knee and all of my deficiencies. I still believe that I'm a force to be reckoned with, and you know the times are very tumultuous right now. Um, my father-in-law passed away this last weekend. The July 4th floods in the hill country were completely devastating, and it's something that I can't even put into words, being a resident there. Um, it's a very overwhelming time for me, and it's an overwhelming time for everybody. But again, I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself that at 58 I'm getting no sleep and I'm running from one side of the country to the next. 4 days, 5 days before I've got to perform in front of millions of people on television in my underwear, and be the guy that they remember. But damn it, I'm going to do what I do, and that I believe is what makes me different. Um, each and every person has a quality, that separates them from others. And I put my nose to the grindstone. I don't complain, and I work my ass off. And that's what I've been doing. Um, my schedule's been turned upside down at the last minute. I'm having to head to Atlanta tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and let's see. I'll give you a microcosm. I woke up at 3 a.m. yesterday, got on a flight, went to went to Boston. We drove an hour, landing in Boston, went to Providence, sat in the dressing room for a number of hours, did the show, turn around, hour and a half drive back to Boston, got there around 11:30, tried to get some food in me. Obviously, I didn't train. And then woke up at 6 o'clock this morning for a flight, just landed back in San Antonio, picked up my boots. I've had 3 pair of boots my entire career. I sent them off to get soles put on them, which I've never done, blindly. Thank God they came back, to my liking. Now I'm in the back of a limousine or a car being taken to rehab to work on my old body to try to get it ready. And then I get home and I pack and try to get the animals together and try to tie up the house for the
Jeez.
next 4 days. Go do my thing and land in Atlanta and then take care of all of that situation. But I'm honored. I truly am. I'm not complaining. It's the situation and the circumstances are not always to your liking, but you adapt and overcome. And taking into consideration, what these people are going through in the hill country. I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself by any stretch of the imagination. I'm so much more fortunate than the next person. It's crazy. So I mean, I've got a lot to be thankful for, and I'm just gonna, like I said, put my nose to the grindstone and finish this thing off the way that I know how to finish.
First of all, condolences about your father-in-law. Hopefully this weekend will be a good chance for the family to be together and celebrate something in light of that. Last thing on all the hard work you're putting in, and we'll try and mix in some lighter stuff. In against everything that you are dealing with, whether that's the physical undertaking of preparing for this last match, everything that's going on this week, despite all that, why is it so important that you go through with this Saturday?
Well, I mean, everybody would like the opportunity to go out on their own and to have a hand in that. And this is my way of doing it. And not many people get that opportunity. I'm speaking to Shane Helms last night. He's in my locker room, and he never got an opportunity to retire. There's many people that have never gotten the opportunity to do this. And even though I'm years removed from my last match, and I'm at an accelerated age, I'm not going to miss the opportunity to put a stamp on my career on my own terms. And it's a privilege. It truly is. And taking everything into consideration, I made a decision that, it's worth taking the risk of injury, of disappointment, and I don't know what my ass is going to look like in these tights. I haven't put them on in 4 years. I mean, let's just go down to that. Let's just think about, a 58-year-old man's ass hanging out of a pair of tights that are smaller than underwear. I mean, that in itself will, humanize the situation.
It does.
So, I mean, it's just one thing after another. But my father, rest in peace, taught me to lead the life of the path of least resistance, right? And the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight freaking line. And I'm putting my nose to it, and I'm going for it. That's all I know how to do. I work hard. We've passed that down to our son, who outworks me, and I only know one way to do things. And this is the culmination of it.
Yeah, well, I'd appreciate if you didn't pan down right now, but everything from the shoulders up is looking perfectly fit for pro wrestling, so I don't think there's too much to be concerned about. There's a debate about who innovated or originated the shoulder tackle, but one thing that's for certain is the reason it's called a spear today, and the reason it's known to be as devastating as it is because of Bill Goldberg. I saw a podcast episode.
Let me stop you right there. My question to you is, who, if I didn't innovate it, who did?
Innovated Bill Goldberg. Originated, that's for a wrestling historian greater than me to know where the first run across the ring shoulder tackle came from.
I think Dr. Death had something to do with it.
Yes.
Steve Williams, I think maybe did it. I don't know, but I don't know. As far as I know, I'm not a historian, but I don't know. No, I'll take a little credit for it.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is I think you're the only one qualified as the person who made the spear to answer this question. The Undertaker recently proposed on an episode of his podcast that everyone else doing the spear in pro wrestling should retire it because Bron Breakker has it down pat. Once Saturday concludes and Goldberg rides off into the sunset, do you think Bron Breakker deserves sole ownership of that move as the next generation?
1,000%. And I saw that interview, number one. Number two, it's pretty funny that interview came up when I'm retiring. and it didn't have anything to do with me because, let's just talk about the reason why everybody started doing the spear at the WWE. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out, right? I mean, let's be perfectly honest. They did it to make mine look bad, or to downplay mine. And I had the conversation last night with Bron, and I told him my feelings on it. And I think 1,000% he's the only human being in the WWE that should be doing that. I know I'm going to catch a lot of hell from that, but I don't care because that's the truth. I mean, it is what it is.
How long until you get to your appointment here, Bill? I just want to make sure I get you out of here on time.
20 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't keep you that long.
10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I definitely won't keep you that long, but I'm happy that I can sneak in a few more here. I want to, obviously this is Goldberg's last match, and so I want to celebrate some of the milestones. But before we do there, you have been in a prominent position from day one, and when every moment's a big moment, that's going to create highs and lows. So I am curious, when you look back at some of the moments in your career where you were maybe getting a poor reception, whether that's the Brett thing or the perception around your match with The Fiend, which you were so kind to clear up the first time you and I spoke, or the first match with Brock Lesnar. At those quote-unquote lows, how do you mentally handle the load and the pressure that's coming your way in those moments?
As a human being, you can't turn your eye to the fact that we all have feelings. I don't care who you are. And one disapproval matters to me because I care about my fans. But in the same token and in the same breath, don't take offense to this, anybody. That don't mean jack to me. I take it into consideration, but it's not going to alter the way that I feel about myself and my career. Now, yes, there are highs and lows, and everybody goes through it. And, I have. There's no question. I'm not immune to the realities of being a human being. And stuff like that hurts. Because I want everyone to appreciate what I do, and I want everyone to be entertained and excited about me coming out. And when one person isn't, or a plethora of people are not, then you question yourself. And I'm not immune to that. I'm a human being. And so I don't know a human that is. And so, yeah, it's bothered me, but it's not going to stop me. And at the end of the day, and what I've taught my son is that you turn that into fuel. And you use that to push yourself. And you use that if you're stagnant in your training or whatever it may be, you use it to be the fuel to your fire. And that's how I do. And I know the truth.
What is the moment that you remember being most proud of yourself in professional wrestling?
Oh, that's easy. Well, the first time was, when I beat Hogan at the Dome. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't because I beat Hogan at the Dome. It was because, and I've mentioned this a number of times before, it was because at the end of the night when we went off the air, NWO handcuffed me to the corner and, beat me down. And my ex-teammates came out and saved me. And I'm sitting in the corner and I look up and I've got guys that I bled with, that I cried with, and, that I sweat with, on a football field where my love is and my passion is. Excuse me. And they, for that 5-minute period of time, couldn't have been happier doing what they were doing, which was defending me in a professional wrestling ring. And for me, that was poetic justice. I felt as though I had come full circle because I wanted nothing more than to be like them. But in that short period of time, I believed that they wanted nothing more than to be like me. So that's by far the best moment. Obviously, my match with Dallas Page and being able to wrestle Sting and, do all the other things that I've done, yeah, it's fantastic. But they don't compare to the feeling that I got and the pride that I felt when I was in the ring and watched my teammates Chuck Smith, Shane Burnett, Jesse Tuggle, I mean, Cornelius Bennett, guys who I would die to be like on the football field, wanted to be like me, and it was awesome.
Bill, if I ask you to rank some spears, would you be willing to do it for me?
Yeah.
All right, so this will be a blind ranking. So the catch is I'll give you the first name. You got to place it 1 to 5, but you don't know who's coming next. So you might have to hedge your bets a bit, okay? All right, first up, Bron Breakker. Where are we putting him 1 to 5?
Oh, other than me, he's a one.
Okay, but I mean, you might be in this list. I don't know. Do you want to put him at number 1?
Yeah, because there's no one else that can do it like him other than me.
Okay. Rhino and the Gore.
So I'm going 1 to 5.
Yes.
I mean, so I've already got one. I'd say 4.
4. Okay. Roman Reigns.
5.
Okay. Edge.
3.
You got 3. Okay, so you got number 2 by default, which I had Bill Goldberg at the end, but I'd be willing to let you do a swap if you want to do Breaker at 2, Goldberg at 1, or do we want to give him the flowers?
Putting myself in it?
I'm putting you in it, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm number 1 and Braun's number 2.
Okay, cool. We can shift. We can move. We can bump Braun up to 1 Sunday morning.
Gotcha.
There we go. All right, last thing, and I'll let you go here, Goldberg. I just need more context about this. So the story goes that you're at a car auction with your wife, and you want to show her how ugly this 1963 Dodge 330 is. And when you approach it, the owner asks you to drive the car on stage. The bidding stalls, and so you raise your hand in an effort to entice your bidding, except you end up accidentally buying the car. What is going through your mind when no one is trying to up your bet?
My wife is going to kill me. That's the only thing I was thinking. Like, that was it. Period. End of story. I didn't care about anything else other than the fact that, I was very irresponsible at the time. But, truth be told, at the end of the day, as you look at it now, that's, a one of 43 or one of 34 cars that were ever built like that. And I got a hell of a deal. And the car's worth a lot of money. And in the end, I've never lost a penny in a car. So I don't know. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
What did your wife say when you walked off that stage with the proud owner of a hideous new vehicle?
I can't remember because I repressed
it. All right. Well, Bill, hopefully we'll be doing anything but repressing the memories this Saturday as you walk into Saturday night's main event for the last time. If there's anything you want to tell the people ahead of your finale this weekend, the floor is yours, my friend.
I can only say that I am forever grateful for the people that appreciated the effort that I put forth in a wrestling ring.